Congressman Raul Grijalva weighing in on this issue at the border. He was the keynote speaker of today's National Association of the Latino Elected and Appointed Officials. Grijalva says what's happening at the border should not be a political issue. There needs to be a solution from lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
To say that this is an immigration crisis when I really believe that we're talking about a hate crisis that's going on in this country, where we are promoting division, trying to marginalize people. And in the process of doing that, I think we are doing a great disservice to this nation.
Grijalva also says he doesn't believe President Trump's executive order to keep families together is resulting in enough reunions, and it keeps a lot of family situations open-ended.
All right. So recently, Congressman Raul Grijalva passed away, unfortunately, at 77 years old due to complications from cancer. He was a congressman from Arizona, and I got his information pulled up here on the screen. Gives a little bit of information about him, where he began his career, chairman of the board, whatnot. And as you saw in that video, obviously, Mr. Grijalva, it was a left-wing supporter of the extremist ideas and thought that the border crisis was racist by, Trump wanted to build a border wall and a lot of the other extreme left-wing ideologies he helped push. As a matter of fact, check out this video, which tell you a little bit more about Mr. Grijalva, and then I'll come back and I'll fill you in exactly on why I decided to do this video. Check this clip out.
I think that this fixation of this administration on tariffs and other means to try to control not only what's imported and exported, but also as part of foreign policy when it comes to Mexico. I will do tariffs unless you do this in terms of border security. Those issues, I think, have also complicated the situation.
On the issue of border security, Grijalva has consistently spoken out against the Trump administration's policies. This week, the Department of Defense Inspector General opened an investigation into the deployment of National Guard and active duty troops to the border, not long after Grijalva and other Democrats raised concerns about its legality.
And the reason for that is to make sure that we are following the constitutional protection that's there now, which says, quite frankly, that our military cannot enforce civilian laws. Immigration law is a civilian law.
So I wanted to show you those videos just so you can get an idea. Now, this clip is from 6 years ago during President Trump's first term when he was wanting to get the border wall built back in 2018. Mr. Grijalva, Congressman Grijalva, was one of the main people pushing back against it and was calling it racist and whatnot. So I wanted to bring you up to speed on who he is, what he represented, what he stood for. He was right there hand to hand with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and doing everything he could during President Trump's first term to make sure that he did not get the agenda done, that the border wall did not get built, and to help create what we have now, which was the invasion of illegal immigrants in America. So as you can see, this was a plan brewing. And President Trump in the first term, you even heard him talk about tariffs with Mexico if they didn't secure the border. So it seems like President Trump is just in there. I heard somebody refer to him as like a bull in a china shop. No, it's not. It's actually synchronized and it's organized chaos because the administration knows how the Democrats and the media are and how if he tried to do one thing at a time, they would pick it apart and create such a negative stigma on it that they could potentially turn the American people against the administration, even if it's for the benefit of the people. So with this kind of shock and awe strategy, or what they call overloading the zone, you do multiple things and you force the Democrats and the media to pick out what they want to cover that day because they can only cover one, maybe two things for that day. And if every day you hitting them with more and hitting them with more, they have to choose which hill they want to die on. And as we've known, the Democrats have been on the wrong side of every single issue. And unfortunately, Congressman Grijalva was on the wrong side of the issues too. But that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to show just how despicable the people that are associated with the Democrat Party can be. Check this out. If you enjoyed the video, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, it is currency. It helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. And once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. As you'll see here, the Democrats used deceased congressman's account to go after Trump. Representative Raul Grijalva just passed away, but that didn't stop his verified X account from posting anti-Trump attacks hours later. Someone is still using his name to push a political agenda. The post slammed Trump's Department of Education layoffs, but the real controversy isn't the message, it's the timing. So let's take a look here. So here's the post. President Trump's latest reckless decision to fire thousands of employees at the Department of Education jeopardizes critical student aid programs, weakens protections for students' civil rights, and undermines essential support for students with disabilities. This move severely, and then it goes on. Now, that post came hours after his office has sent out a statement announcing his passing. The office of the 7th District of Arizona is saddened to announce the passing of Congressman Raul Grijalva. Rep. Grijalva fought a long and brave battle. He passed away this morning due to complications of his cancer treatments. So this congressman, who was in the last days of his life fighting cancer, and that's not the only post. There's multiple posts over the last few days that have been anti-Trump and anti-Trump's policy, but today just takes the cake for some sleazebag to use the account of a deceased congressional member to post propaganda, anti-Trump propaganda, is just another example of how low the Democrat Party will go. Not only will they not stand up for a 13-year-old cancer survivor, not only will they not stand up for the 95-year-old mother of a returned hostage in Mark Fogel, not only will they not stand up for bills that were passed protecting other women that can avoid dealing with what Laken Riley had to go through. Not only could they not stand up for the men on a woman's sports protection that was passed, for the girl Peyton whose eye socket was crushed by a transgender athlete in a volleyball game. The only thing they clapped for was death and destruction when they talked about the money given for Ukraine. And now let's fast forward it to this. They're spewing out more venom and propaganda using a deceased member of Congress's account to spread propaganda, and that is despicable. And really, whoever it is that posted this should be fired. But you know how the Democrat Party is. They'll probably be promoted. They'll probably be promoted. And if I don't know if you saw it already, let me see if I can find it for you. And it's the video that's come out recently of the Democrats talking about President Trump's recent spending bill and how they plan on shutting down the government. Let me see if I can find that. All right, to show you just how fake the Democrat Party has become, right here by DeVory Dawkins. He has an awesome YouTube channel too. You should check it out. 50 Democrats just copied and posted the exact same message to X. Does the Democratic base have any standards whatsoever? And who is constantly releasing the script? We haven't left the field. House Democrats stand united for a 4-week funding extension that stops harmful cuts, keeps government open, and allows Congress to reach a bipartisan funding agreement. I am ready to vote today, tomorrow, or Friday to pass this 4-week extension. So 50 Democrats, in an effort to show their authenticity to the voters, and for some reason they feel like just being on social media is why Trump won, without realizing it's the authenticity that people gravitated to, not the fakeness. This is why people run away from the Democrat Party, because it is so fake. They're using a deceased congressman's account to post anti-Trump stuff that you know he couldn't have wrote because he's not even alive. Then all 50 copy and paste the exact same post and drop it at the same time. Then how can we forget the Synchronized commercial? Check this out.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down. They're up. Inflation is getting worse. Not better. The prices of groceries, gas, housing, eggs, of essentials. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has done nothing. Who's eggs to lower prices for you? Instead, he's pardoned violent criminals who savagely beat police officers on January 6th. He's letting Elon Musk take a chainsaw to vital government programs, and then, even worse, giving him access to Americans' most sensitive data, Social Security numbers, tax returns, healthcare bills. He's fired thousands of essential workers, people who help our veterans get their benefits, people fighting Ebola in Africa so it doesn't come here. He's frozen funding for vital programs that so many American families need. Cancer.
You get the idea if you hadn't seen it already. And literally 22 of them all posted the same exact video. Democrats are resorting to posting identical videos before Trump's speech. Literally word for word, everything they do is scripted. Okay, literally everything that they do is scripted. And there's another video that they do not want you to see either about the Democrats and shutdown. Because remember, right now, the Republicans passed the spending bill through the House. The Democrats did not think the Republicans would unite to get it passed through. They did. Now it's at the Senate, and it needs 60 votes. The Republicans don't have 60 votes. They require 7 Democrats to vote with them. John Fetterman is the only one that said he definitely will. And the reason being, it's a clean CR, which means it is the exact same spending that has been done on the previous 2 CRs, except it's $13 billion less. $13 billion less, but still funds all the essentials. Doesn't cut from anything. It's a clean CR, which means it has nothing added to it, has the same spending levels. And the Democrats, as opposed to having this CR that extends through September, which is what it's set for, the Democrats want to do one for 30 days so that they could put things in there. And what they want to do is put things to clamp down on Doge, because Doge is exposing their slush fund. But check out how Democrats felt about shutdowns, under Joe Biden's presidency.
Republicans are marching America to a painful government shutdown. But we need traditional Republicans to break with MAGA extremists so we can keep the government open.
Republican shutdown will cost 6,306 of her constituents their paychecks.
Put the bill on the floor for an up or down vote so we can end this MAGA Republican nightmare. And if you don't, you own this government shutdown.
And we could put the threat of a shutdown behind us. Our agreement would keep the government open, provide emergency aid for communities battered by hurricanes and other natural disasters.
It's about the harm that House Republicans will do to the American people if the government shuts down.
One Democrat said to me, they feel like they have a mandate from their constituents to shut down the government.
Yes, there are some raising the possibility of shutting down the government in March.
We will use whatever power we have, and fundamentally, we're not going to vote for something that undermines the American people.
To withhold votes, do Democrats have the stomach?
I certainly hope so. I know that I'm not going to vote for their proposal for sure.
Are you prepared to shut down the government, to join Democratic colleagues who want to stand in the way of keeping the government open?
Well, there are simply trying
yes?
So yes, look, if we have to take steps.
14 days from now, government shutdown is looming.
If we don't believe that we have a willing partner on the other side, then we need to stay united and not bail out President Trump.
And yet at the same time, in order for a lot of voters to fully understand what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are doing, people are unfortunately going to have to feel some of that. And the only way that that happens is that the shutdown happens.
Republicans. So as you heard, the Democrats don't give a crap about bringing pain on the public when they want to just do something or they want to throw a hissy fit. But when the Republicans considered it, when, last year they went crazy and said how it was going to hurt people and families weren't going to get their paychecks and how important that was. Now, since they want to be crybabies and they want to whine, they want to stop Doge from doing what Doge is doing, which is finding all the waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, government shutdown is okay. These people are so fake and they're so hypocritical. They're as fake as that deceased congressman posting anti-Trump things after hours after he had already passed away. And even the post in the last few days, this man was dying from terminal cancer. He didn't give a crap about getting on X, making some post against Trump. He was spending time, hopefully, with his family members and enjoying whatever time he had left. And the fact that they would stoop that low just showed you how despicable these people are. But I just want to jump in and share that piece of information. It's crazy just how low these people go. And as usual, if you haven't already, like the video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Other than that, thank you for hanging out with me. If you're still here right now, I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.